Live. Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Dirt 5 on the GTX 1050 Ti, 750 Ti, 1650 Super, RX 570, RX 580, and then I'll do a live stream on the 2060, but that will be a separate live stream. So, hello guys, how are you doing? Good seeing you there. It's been a while. I saw you yesterday, so hasn't really been a while. Thank you to all the members that just joined. Thank you so much, guys, for supporting the channel. So let's play this game now. Return. Who uses return to start the game? What the heck? So, guys, how are you doing? Good seeing ya, everyone. Let's give a try to Dirt 5. Haven't heard good things about it, really. Gotta accept the agreement. 1 second. This is the first time I launched the game, so bear with me. I'll disable the music before. There's no audio from the game, so 1 second, guys. Gotta accept all the policies. Also, thanks to Codemasters for providing a copy of the game. So they sent me a code. I have to let you guys know. Gotta be transparent. So yeah, the game was provided by the publisher, Codemasters. So let's start with no vsync. Thank you. Whoa, what the heck? Okay. Number 1. Yeah, I pressed the wrong button. So this is at 4K right now. Give me 1 second. Hey, did you get an Assassin's Creed Valhalla key for benchmarks? Yes, I did. I didn't yet, better said. Give me 1 second that I gotta pause the game. Because before starting, I want to disable the music. What the heck, there's no mouse control? Really? No mouse control in the menus. Alright, so perfect, no music, because I don't want to get copyrighted, so time to enable that. So, let's go into graphics settings. No vsync, thank you. Dynamic range. Okay, dynamic resolution scaling. I'm not sure why it's called dynamic range. Final resolution, native, history resolution. What? Oh, interesting. You can change the resolution for the temporal anti-aliasing. We put native resolution. We're going to put first everything on high, just because I'm super. What's the name of this? I'm sure that the game is going to run fine. Nothing that I saw on the internet says the opposite. Confirm. What? How do I? Oh, spacebar. Yes, I want to accept the changes. Thank you. And what else? Not sure why I cannot change the resolution. 1 second, guys. I'm going to restart the game in its entirety because I was getting 11 FPS on high settings. Skill, how are you doing, man? Thank you for being a member, for supporting the channel. He says 30 FPS. Yeah, probably. Probably 30 FPS. I'm going to put the native resolution on my monitor to 1080p. So the game at least launches in that resolution. What a weird thing that there's no mouse control in the menus. Gotta grab my controller. 1 second, guys. Where did I leave my controller? Oh, here it is. So going to use an Xbox 360 controller. Here it is. My favorite controller. So yeah, no racing game should be played with mouse and keyboard. Sorry to the purists. RX 580 done? No, I just started. This is GTX 1050 Ti, then we're doing 750 Ti, then 570, and then we're doing the 580, the 1650 Super. Whoa, the game froze. No! What a good start! In the meantime, how are you guys doing? Good seeing you there. Thank you for joining the live stream. The game just crashed. Please, game, work. Oh, thank you. UNL1K3, welcome to the channel. Thank you for the membership, the awesome supporter tier. Thank you so much, man. Super appreciated. I hope you're I hope you're having a fantastic day. The game is not launching, so I apologize in advance. Okay, it opened. I'm waiting for it to load. And the game crashed. Okay, going to put 4K as the native resolution again. I think the game selected the wrong resolution, and now it's not launching due to that. So what the heck? Good way to start the channel with the game crashing. I love that. Which size has the game? Good question. Let's find out. 45 gigabytes. Yeah, 43 gigabytes. The game is 43 gigabytes, if you were wondering. Yeah, the game is not launching. I'm going to turn off MSI Afterburner and give it a second try. Yeah, about start. Pretty unfortunate. We'll see how it goes. Bruh. Okay, now it opened again. Maybe it's due to the MSI Afterburner. Yeah. So if you're launching the game with MSI Afterburner, it's going to crash. So you gotta launch the game, you gotta launch the program later. Okay, we're back into the game. So to see the FPS, make sure to minimize the game first. Okay, there's no option for resolution. What? Why? Oh, okay. Okay. Never mind. There it is. There it is. Okay, now we got it. Now I get how the menu works. I was a little scared there. So we launch MSI Afterburner. Now I'm getting the hang of it. And we're going to change the size of the overlay. Okay. All right. You can do this, Santiago. You can do this. Come on. So we launch this. We're putting it on high and... All right. Perfect. Excellent. We are getting there now. Yes, I want these settings. All right. It's working now. All jokes aside. Is ray tracing available? Not sure, but we're going to start with everything on native resolution on high settings. So everything on high, just to start the game in some way. Image quality will be on oh my god, no. Okay, high settings, 1080p. And for some reason it didn't save my changes. Doesn't matter. Let's start right away. Yeah, dual channel is super important. Yeah, almost had a heart attack there, same. Yeah, I was super scared for a second, thinking that the game was not going to work. But it works, guys. The menu is a little weird. We don't have any mouse control there. So once the race starts, we're going to pause and see if the settings applied. As you can see here in final resolution, you start with native, but you can, if you go to the right, you're going to find the resolutions. So we're going to start with high settings. Yeah, the image quality is not what I intended. So this is not native resolution. So 1 second, guys. I'm so sorry about this. The menu, the first time you launch the game wants you to go directly into a race. So also, if you guys are getting crashes when the game launches, make sure to turn off MSI Afterburner. That's going to make the game crash. If you launch the game directly without closing MSI Afterburner, you're going to get a crash. So if you want to see the frame rate, make sure that you open the program to see the FPS after the game launched. Maybe there's some anti-cheat measures going on that make the game crash. So make sure you see that. ¿Cómo andas, Mancho? ¿Todo bien? Set the render resolution to 1080p. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So we can get native resolution. Then we're going to test other stuff. It came out yesterday, actually, but yeah. All right. So image quality, we put it on high. Okay, this is the quality preset. no dynamic resolution, everything on 1080p high settings. Those will be my, yeah, those are my settings. So history resolution is the resolution used for the temporal anti-aliasing, so we're keeping it on the native. Render resolution is the back buffer, like they say, which is the resolution scale. And the rest will be on high settings, as you can see here. So we apply the settings. We don't care about the numbers here. The numbers, and by numbers I mean the number in the car. So yeah, all right. And what the heck? Yeah, when I launch MSI Afterburner, the game likes to crash. So we're going to put it on stealth. How unfortunate that you need to close the program in order for the game to work. That's so unfortunate. Anyways. So if you want to see the frame rate, sorry. Yeah. You gotta do something else maybe to make it work. The game is going to crash if you want to see the FPS. So what a bad way to start the video. 10 minutes not being able to play because the frame rate counter makes the game crash. So I'm so sorry guys, I have no control over this. Let's give it a try again. Maybe now I can make it work. Please. Maybe use cam. No, cam is probably not going to work. I speak from experience. I'm going to disable also the Steam overlay. Yeah, for some reason I'm getting just a black screen. What a weird thing. Yeah. Yeah, with the program running, it just crashes the game for some reason. So we're going to try one more time and try something else to see the frame rate because it doesn't seem to be working at all if you try to see the FPS. Sometimes the programs like this one try to hook some code and the games do not like it. Yeah, the game doesn't like the code injection. Let's try without stealth mode. I mean, this is not an issue with the game itself, it's an issue with how the game hooks with the program. Yeah, I'll try fraps, probably. But I saw people using MSI Afterburner just fine, so not sure what's up with that. Because it was working a second ago. I don't know what happened. Yep. Alright. Stealth mode. And what else? This has to be another way. Give me 1 second, guys. I don't want any overlays. And oh, I know what to do. Let's disable the on-screen. Let's enable this on-screen display right away. And we'll launch the program once more. Also, yeah, the NVIDIA FPS overlay, but on AMD it's not going to work. So I gotta try something else. I'll go with fraps since it's an overlay, not a benchmark utility. Yeah, true. But this is not a benchmark utility either. So definitely, okay, yeah, something is up with that. But I saw people making videos with this program just fine, so something is definitely off. Let's try it once more. So I open this. All right. Let's see if the overlay shows up. Please show up, overlay. Okay, okay. There it is. There it is. Do not touch anything. The overlay is working. Gotcha. Perfect. So high settings, 1080p, without dynamic resolution. This is not lowest settings. This is high. So high. And let's go. Also, yeah, the AMD drivers do have an FPS counter. I forgot about that. So we'll be able, in case everything else fails, we're going to try that. Sure, guys. Sí, hay un contador de FPS con AMD también. Me había olvidado eso. Okay, so high settings, 1080p. Let's see how it goes. Okay, 20 frames per second. Yeah, definitely we gotta tweak some stuff. this is not going to work like this. So let's see, if we lower geometry to the minimum, we jump from 20 something to 20 something. Tessellation, we jump from 24 to 24. Shadow quality on ultra low, we jump from 24 to 28. Okay. Volumetrics from 28 to 30. Clouds from 30 to 30. Procedurals from 30 to 31. And global illumination from 30 to 35. Okay, so global illumination and what else? And volumetrics and shadows seem to be doing the most difference, and the geometry. So this should give us 30 frames per second. So this should be the 30 frames per second configuration, hopefully. So put shadows on ultra low, volumetrics on ultra low, and global illumination on ultra low, and geometry. So yeah, let's call this optimal settings, lowest shadows and more, high on not demanding options. No, the resolution is not 4K, this is 1080p, so do not worry, this is 1080p. But I saw some videos in the internet where that was the case. Oh, so you can see the what's the name of this? The settings. This should be decent settings for 30 frames. We'll see once we jump into the game again. Whoa, that's not what I was looking for. Oh no. No. Okay, there I am. So let's try to keep playing. Let's see if we stay at 30 frames. Okay. So with shadows on the lowest, geometry on the lowest, and what else? Procedurals, I think it was, and global illumination, and some other things on the lowest. It seems to be 30 frames per second, but we had to lower, and the game still looks good, don't get me wrong. There's some stuff that pops up, there's a lot of popping. The shadows still look pretty decent, considering this is a mix of some stuff on the minimum and some stuff on high. So yeah, that appears to be... Let me restart the race so we can see many cars on screen. 3, 2, 1... Okay, with many cars on screen... Okay, 30 frames per second. There are some reflections at the top of the cars. The shadows look pretty good, considering they're the lowest shadows. I was expecting no shadows at all. But yeah, the performance so far is horrendous, considering the... well, the settings we're using. Sorry about the mouse cursor. So 30 FPS. If you're using, let me show you the settings again. So if you want 30 frames, at least in the first level on native 1080p resolution, you're going to need to put geometry on the lowest, shadows on the lowest, volumetrics on the lowest, global illumination at the lowest, and then procedural quality on high, cloud quality on high, and tessellation on high. This should be the voice is sync. What? Refresh? What do you mean? Anyways, so this should be the optimal settings for 30 FPS. I don't think we're going to get 60s, really, all things considered. But that's super disappointing. I was able to get 60s on previous third games by lowering settings. On this one, probably if I put everything on ultra low, it's not going to be 60 frames. Let's see in the... Yeah, we're getting 40 frames on the lowest settings. That's crazy. Crazy in a bad way. What the heck? Okay. So guys, the game is running terrible. On the lowest settings, you're getting 40 frames. So my best settings would be this for 30 frames per second, 1080p, everything on native, no dynamic resolution. This will be the 30 frames per second option. So that's how you do it. So let's play a little bit of the game to see if we can maintain 30 frames. but not even at the lowest settings you're going to get some 60 frames on a racing game, which is super impressive. Considering super impressive, I mean in a bad way. It's not running well at all. I was expecting at least to, on the lowest settings, to get 60s, and we're not, really. I mean, at least we can get 30 frames, and the game looks pretty good, despite with the shadows being at the lowest. But I was expecting so much more. I mean, it's a game from Codemasters, and they usually have good frame rates when I lower settings. And we are GPU bound, the GPU is the limiting factor. Also, thanks to Codemasters for providing a copy of the game, despite being honest, doing criticism. But I'm super disappointed with the performance so far. I was expecting at least 60s on the lowest, but we're not getting there. No anti-aliasing settings. The anti-aliasing settings on this one are TAA, and you can select the resolution of the TAA. So the game looks super blurry if you lower the resolution. The issue with that is that they are forcing some very strong TAA. So I can see a lot of blurriness. It's super soft. The image is super soft. So yeah, the performance is not good so far. Let's see in the next stage, but and also super arcadey, so if you were looking for Dirt Rally, this is not Dirt Rally. I mean, it's not a simulator, it's super arcadey, I can tell you that much. Which is fine, that's a decision from the developers, but the performance is pretty terrible. Pretty terrible, really. This is basically some stuff on high, very few things on high, and shadows on ultra low, geometry on ultra low. The only thing I put on high were tessellation, clouds, all that good stuff, but nothing super noticeable. It's basically the lowest settings with some extra spice up in the graphics, but nothing special really. And at the lowest settings we were not getting 60 frames, so do not expect 60 frames on this one, on this card. Yeah, the 750 Ti will be 20 frames, that's for sure. So let's continue. I mean, the game doesn't look bad, but considering the previous titles, I was expecting a lot more from the performance, at least lower in the settings. You expect to get 60 frames, at least with no shadows or something, but there's none of that. Yeah, I'll try 900p, do not worry. I wanna... Okay, the connection to the servers has been lost, that's fine. Let's do free play on... We got Brazil, China, Greece, Italy, Morocco. Let's do Brazil, since I'm very close to Brazil. And in a forest, because the forest usually destroys the frame rate. Unlimited. Weather, we're going to do clear first, then we're doing rain, to see if the rain affects the performance in any way. Number of laps 3, that's alright. Grid size 12, difficulty medium. Yeah, let's start the event. One of these trucks. I'm calling it a truck, maybe it's not. So let's see how it goes. Make a Discord server. I do have a Discord server, but I do not use it. And I selected a forest because, well, forests usually destroy the frame rate. So yeah, let's see. Get ready. 3, 2, 1. Let's see if we can maintain 30s. Okay, 30 frames. With the same settings as before. Okay. This reminds me so much of Motor Storm Pacific Rift on the PS3. Okay, when touching water, again the water issues, we drop into the low 30s. But okay, we're staying at 30 frames, which is fine, I guess. Let's see with the same settings on 900p what we're going to get. So as you can see here, these are the settings I'm using. I'm going to remove the camera so you can see them. These are the 30 frames per second settings for 1080p. So you put everything on native, geometry on ultra low, tessellation on high, shadows and volumetrics on ultra low, clouds and procedural quality on high, and global illumination on ultra low. Those are the best settings for 1080p because that's the only way to get 30 frames per second, apparently. So with this in mind, let's try 900p now. So we're going to lower to 900p. We confirm. Yes. And all right, so on 900p, with the same settings, we're getting 40s apparently. So let's put in the status 900p. So on 900p, with these same settings, we're getting, okay, 40s. So no 60s yet. Let's see on the lowest settings. Yeah, let's try lowest settings. Let's be honest. Let's go directly to the lowest. Ultra low, ultra low, ultra low. And we apply the settings. So this is lowest. Lowest settings 1080p. Sorry, 900p. Let's see how it goes. We're going to restart the race. Get ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, nowhere close to 60 frames. Yeah, we're getting 40s. Drops into the 30s. On the lowest settings, 900p. So for 60s, we probably need to do 720p. Let me do the optimal settings for 900p, and we're going to swap to 720. So we're going to crank up global illumination to medium, procedurals to high, cloud quality on high, volumetrics, let's put it on medium, shadows on medium, tessellation, let's put it on medium as well to get some extra geometry here as well. And tessellation, let's put it on the high setting. Okay, so a mix between medium and high. This is to get 30 frames because even at the lowest, 900p is not getting 60 frames, so we're going to aim for 30. So these are the settings for 30 frames per second. So like you see here, geometry on medium, tessellation on high, shadows on medium, volumetrics on medium, clouds on high, procedurals on high, global illumination on medium. And that's going to be the 30 frames per second configuration for the game at 900p if you want a little better visuals. So let's restart the race and give it a try. 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah, FPS on screen. Sorry guys, forgot about the FPS. Thank you Mark for reminding me on the FPS. So FPS on screen. There we go. So you guys can see it. So this is the 30 frames per second configuration for 900p. And it seems to be going fine. On a mix between medium and high, you can do 30 frames per second. Okay, and drops into the upper 20s. But it seems to hold up. So, if you want a little better visuals and on 1080p, you can do 900p medium to high. So you're not dropping the quality that much. But again, you're not getting 60s on 900p anytime soon. So thank you. So okay, in this game you're not getting 60s at even 900p lowest settings. So you're going to have to aim for 30 if you want. I mean, you have basically no option. If you want more than 720p, you gotta do that 30 frames per second, which is pretty unfortunate. I mean, usually games from this developer can run at 60s with settings basically lowered to the minimum, but this is not one of them. What a way to start the next generation of gaming, with games running poorly. Yeah, pretty poor. I'm not turning off slow mode, I'm sorry, but no. People spam, so I'm not disabling slow mode. I'm so sorry, but it's for the well-being of myself and the rest of the people in the chat. Slow mode needs to stay. Needs to have some sort of control about the chat rate and all that. So yeah, on 900p, this is what you're getting, 30 frames per second on medium to high settings. So let's now try 720p. So we're going to start with 720p lowest settings. All right. So everything on the lowest. Everything lowered. So lowest settings, 720p now. So the status will be 720p lowest. Let's see if we can get 60s, please. So lowest settings, 720p. Let's give it a try. So we restart the race. Please, 60 frames. Please. Okay, we're over 50 frames. So if you want to get the smoothest... Never mind, it dropped into the 40s. You're not getting 60s on this game, apparently. You're still going to drop into the 40s sometimes when there's a lot of stuff going on the screen. But we're mostly into the 50s, so at least you're getting a smoother experience. Yeah, still drops into the 40s sometimes. So if you want the smoothest gameplay you can, you're going to need 720p on the lowest settings on this card. The FPS are over there. The FPS are so big now that I'm not zooming in. That's why the FPS, I didn't put the zoom in for the 720p. So, but I'm going to do it anyways because you guys asked me. From popular demand, here's the frame rate. Sorry guys. There we go. So, as you can see, if you want to get the smoothest gameplay that you can, you're going to need 720p on this card. I'm not going to try dynamic resolution yet, but yeah, FPS counter. There you go. Thank you guys for reminding me about the FPS counter. But yeah, if you want the smoothest gameplay possible, lowest settings is going to be at 720p on this card. So, how unfortunate, we got so many good looking games on racing games like Forza Horizon 4 that it's an open world and it uses so much less resources. It's ridiculous. The performance is terrible on this. I'm very disappointed. Yeah, half of 1080p is going to be the case, I think. Whoa, okay. So we're going to now try a 30 frames per second target. So let me restart the race. Alright, so let's try 30 frames at 720p. So I'm going to try high settings with some stuff on ultra high. So high settings, high. Okay, so if you're putting tesselation, let's put on ultra. Okay, some stuff on ultra destroys the frame rate, so avoid ultra settings by any means. So I'm going to lower also tesselation a little bit. Let's see. No, it doesn't change anything. So let's see if this gives us 30 frames. Okay, it does. Excellent. So guys, for 30 frames per second with the best visuals possible at 720p, you're going to need geometry on high, tessellation on the highest, high shadows, volumetric quality on high, clouds and procedurals on ultra, and global illumination on high. Yeah, I mean, the game still looks good on the lowest, don't get me wrong, still looks decent, but I mean, the performance is not good. High, ultra high. So we're going to use this for as a 30 frames per second target. So let's give it a try. Yeah, the game is only DirectX 12. But again, there's more racing games that run better than this. And they are open world, like Forza Horizon 4 runs amazing. It's open world. Okay, we're dropping into the mid-20s, so this is not the best configuration. Let's put everything on high and call it a day. Yeah, not working, maybe. The level illumination on medium. Yeah. Yeah, we're not getting there. Okay, so lowering shadows helps us quite a bit. Let's put the rest on the highest, then this on medium. Yeah, how unfortunate. Okay, medium to ultra high settings. Whoa, the KenV 425. Thank you for the $20 donation. I'll call you Ken. Thank you, man, for the $20 donation and for becoming a member. I saw you. You are an awesome supporter 2.0. Thank you so much, man, for the super generous $20 donation. Thank you for going the extra mile. Well, I'm going to call you Ken. Thank you, man. Super appreciated. So this is a mix between medium high and ultra high. So if you want to see the settings, there they are. 720p on some stuff on medium, some stuff on the highest. So the numbers are not good on the performance, but if the game is fun, I'm not sure because I played very little. I played 20 minutes of it. I'm going to try dynamic resolution. Give me 1 second. I'm trying the 720p best settings. That's why I'm taking so long. But after this, I'm going to try dynamic resolution on 1080p to see if we can at least do some trickery to get 60 FPS on 1080p with some drops into the resolution. Probably that will be black magic, but it's probably going to work. So yeah, for 720p, a mix between medium high and ultra high for 30 frames per second. And if you want 60s, 50 to 60 with some drops into the 40s, 720p lowest settings. On the lowest settings, the game still looks decent, but I mean, that's lowest settings 720p. I'm super surprised, really. I was expecting more performance, considering this is not an open world game. Yeah, I'm going to do best visuals on 1080p, but give me some time, guys. Yeah, it seems to stay at 30 frames. Excellent. So let's continue. At least one lap. I want to make at least one lap. The game, if you guys were wondering, feels super arcadey, so this is not a simulator. More of an arcadey experience, as far as I'm telling for playing the game. Feels more arcadey than Forza Horizon 4. Okay, I did one lap, so let's try 1080p now. But on the settings I was trying before. So we're confirm. Yes. And we changed the size of the frame rate counter so you guys can see. Excellent. So for 1080p, if you can remember, geometry was on the lowest, shadows were on the lowest, global illumination was on the lowest, and procedurals were on, let's put them on medium, clouds on high, let's put it on medium again. Let's see, this on the lowest, shadows on the lowest, tessellation on high, geometry on the lowest. So this will be the best resolution that you can get. On 1080p, this is the best performance you can get without dynamic resolution. So you need to put ultra low geometry, high tessellation, ultra low shadows, ultra low volumetrics, clouds on high, procedurals on high, and global illumination on the lowest. That's how you get 30 frames on 1080p. So that's the best visuals you can get on 1080, as you can see. Hang on, gotta change the status to 1080p. 1080p optimal settings. So this is the 30 frames per second configuration with the highest resolution that you can put. So again, considering many things are on ultra low, like shadows, and some things are on, very few things are on high, the game still looks pretty decent considering the visual settings I selected. I mean, the shadows still look pretty good considering they are the worst quality shadows that you can use. But again, no way to get 60s unless you go to 720p, and you're still dropping below 60. So this is the best configuration, I think. This is what I will probably play the game at. 30 FPS with 1080p. and that's about it. Let's try dynamic resolution now. So for some reason, dynamic resolution in this game is called dynamic range. Let's enable it. And let's see if it does anything at all. Okay, I don't see any changes. The resolution appears to be... Okay, I see some extra blurriness. Doesn't appear to do anything. Yeah, I can see the difference, but not the performance difference. The performance seems basically the same. Maybe I need VSync for this. Let's see. No. Okay, dynamic resolution doesn't seem to be working. So I disable it. Let's see the history resolution. This is the resolution used for temporal anti-aliasing. Let's see if I lower this, what happens. Okay. Alright, the game looks less blurry now. Interesting. Let's see if I put this on dynamic. I apply it and I apply this. Whoa. Did anything change? Doesn't seem to be. No, doesn't seem to be working on dynamic resolution. I'm still at 37 FPS. So I'm not sure what the game is doing with the dynamic resolution because it's not aiming for something higher than 30. Of course, I'm not expecting magically hitting 60s. So we're going to disable this. Let's see. Anything changed? That doesn't seem to be the case. It seems to be basically the same. I'm getting 1 FPS more. Doesn't seem to change at all. Yeah, I'm going to do the 570. I need your patience, guys. Give me 1 second that I'm trying to see how all of this is working. Let's see if I put 50% native, what happens to the TAA. Okay, the TAA seems to be looking worse now. Yeah, super blurry TAA if I put it on 75%, but we don't get a performance uplift, so the history resolution doesn't seem to change anything at all. I mean, it changes the quality of the TAA, the anti-aliasing, but it doesn't seem to affect performance at all. Seems to be, let's see if I put it on 1080 or 900p here. Yeah, it seems to be basically the same. It's the quality of the TAA. Yeah, doesn't seem to change anything at all. The TAA doesn't affect performance that much. So let's try lowering the render resolution to half of 1080p and see how it looks. So render resolution. I don't see any changes at all. What the heck? I'm not seeing any boost in performance. Let's see if I put 720p on the back buffer. It runs the same. What the heck? I'm trying to lower the render resolution of the back buffer and it doesn't seem to do anything at all. 43 FPS now, 43. If I put it on native, let's see. Native. Let's see. Yeah, still 42 FPS. So let's try something else. Let's try... Yeah, you cannot change the render resolution. The render resolution seems to be the same. It doesn't change. So the dynamic resolution doesn't seem to be working at all. And history resolution or render resolution, the resolution scale, you change it and nothing changes. I mean, if my render resolution is 720p, so if I put 1080p and want to lower the resolution, the render resolution, the game looks the same. And the performance doesn't change, so apparently those options are not working. Oh, never mind, we got a boost in performance now. No, we didn't. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem to be working. That option seems to be broken. Let's see this again. Yeah. It appears to be the same. How weird. Not sure why they add these options if they're not working. Something is definitely up. Yeah, doesn't seem to change anything at all. I'm still getting 35 FPS in this part. Yeah, one thing that I saw on the internet, 4-core CPUs have a lot of stutter in this game. So if you don't have egg threads, 4 cores and egg threads, I mean, do not even try it. They are recommending as a minimum an i3-2120, I think. And it's a 2 cores and 4 threads, and apparently 2 cores and 4 threads render this game unplayable. So if you don't have egg threads, you're probably going to run into a lot of stutter. So be aware of that. But yeah, not even dynamic resolution or the resolution scale are working at all. So you cannot lower that resolution. Play the game already? Yeah, I mean, this is a performance channel, so playing the game is to see performance. I'm just testing out the options menu, that's what I do in the channel. But yeah, I mean, the render resolution options are not working at all. So you're going to have to lower the resolution if you want the best numbers. There's no anti-aliasing mode, you're forced to use TAA. So that's super weird. They force you to use TAA. We're going to now try the same map but with rainy conditions. So I'm going to try with rain. So let's see if the performance is affected when the weather is bad. So we're going to select, instead of clear, we're going to try heavy rain. So usually in some racing games, rainy conditions destroy the performance. So let's see how it runs with rain. Because there are more reflections on the ground, there is mud. Alright, so okay, with rainy conditions it seems to be running basically the same. Never mind, it drops into the mid-20s. Oh my god, why? Okay, it was only in that corner. Oh yes, running a little bit worse with rainy conditions, and this is probably because of the reflections in the ground. But it looks, I mean, I still have reflections at the lowest settings in some options, and I still have some sort of reflections going on. So I think they should give us an option to turn some of the stuff off, like TAA. Let us disable TAA so we get a sharper image. Let us, I don't know, let us disable the reflections or the shadows to at least get some extra performance. But the game still looks pretty decent considering I'm using almost the lowest settings. And by pretty decent I mean even using the lowest settings, the game doesn't look all that bad. But again, yeah, I'm taking very long on the 1050 Ti because this is the first time I launched the game, so I'm going to swap GPUs, do not worry. I had enough of this card already, so let's swap GPUs. So, excellent. So we can get 30 frames. Let me show you the best settings first and we'll change the GPUs. So the best settings for this card, the 1050 Ti, I'm going to get the camera away so you can see, are 1080p, everything on native, no dynamic resolution, and we're going to keep creep geometry on the lowest, tessellation on high, shadows on the lowest, volumetric on the lowest, clouds on high, procedural on high, and global illumination on the lowest. These are the settings to get 30 frames per second on 1080p. If you go for 900p, you can put this on medium settings, the ones on ultra low. And if you go for 720p, you can use this to get 40 to 60 frames. And that's basically how it runs. That's basically it. So history resolution is the resolution of the TAA, so the amount of pixels TAA uses to reconstruct the image, but doesn't seem to be doing anything. Same with render resolution. That's the resolution that the game is running at, the internal resolution. I lowered it and nothing happened, so I think the option doesn't work. So I'm going to now, if I'm doing something wrong, I'll find out later, but at the moment this is the best settings for the 1050 Ti to get 30 frames per second. So let's get out of the game and swap GPUs because I'm taking too long with one card. So I'm going to swap GPUs now. So hello guys, nice seeing you there. Let's try another GPU. We're going to swap to the lowest end GPU that I own, the 750 Ti, which will be only 720p probably, because the game is not running that well at all. So we're doing very quickly the 750 Ti to get it out of the way because it's going to run at 720p probably. So here's the 1050 Ti I just used, the single fan card. Let's put it to the side. And let's put the 750 Ti in, the legendary graphics card from 2014. And after this, we're doing the 570. So guys, do not worry, I am doing the 570. So be patient, please. Would you test Assassin's Creed Valhalla today? Not today, next week, because the game releases on Tuesday. But Ubisoft told me that they might give me a review copy, so I might be able to access a day early, we'll see. But I don't have the game with me today. I only have Dirt 5 right now. I might do more games later, but right now, Dirt 5 is my only thing I'm doing today. So, patience. I'm waiting for the drivers to load. 1 second, guys. Yeah, I'm doing the 750 Ti. Yeah, well, glad to do it. The 570 comes after this one, so be patient, guys. All right, we're back into the PC now. Okay, we're going to launch MSI Afterburner. Oh, we have to launch it after the game launches, so here it goes, 750 Ti. So we're going to close the program. Yeah, let's close it so the game doesn't crash when I launch it, which is what happened before. So let's launch the game now. This is the 750 Ti. So here we go. We're going to start with 720p because I have no hopes for this one, unfortunately. So there we go. So 750 Ti will be the first one. Yeah, the card is getting dirty. Yeah, yeah, good joke. That's a good one. Hey, how are you doing, guys? Hola, ¿cómo andan? ¿Todo bien? Is the 1650 Super over? No, the 1650 Super will be tested at the end, so stay tuned after the 580. Hey, Elite Gaming HQ, how are you doing, man? Good seeing you, it's been a while. Yeah, you caught me live this time. Can you stress test that puppy? Yes, of course, I'm doing that. Of course. Okay, the game should be launching now. Let's see. Come on, game, launch, please. I think it's pointless to review something low-end as 750 Ti is currently obsolete. Well, to you it might be pointless, to me it's not, so... It's only 5 minutes of testing it, so I think it doesn't hurt to try a lower-end GPU. Doesn't seem to be launching the game though. Let's see. Maybe, yeah, the game doesn't seem to be launching on this card. Let me change the desktop resolution. Maybe that's why. If the game doesn't launch, I'm swapping to another graphics card. Yeah, it doesn't seem to launch at all. The game just instantly crashes. Let's see if I put 1080p on the desktop and I delete the config file. We're going to try that as a last resort. Yeah, the game just crashes. Maybe this card is not working on this game. Let's see, Dirt 5. User profile settings. So I deleted the config file. Let's see if that launches the game at all. Yeah, nothing happens. So, sorry. The 750 Ti does not run the game. So the game just instantly crashes. So I'm sorry, guys. The 750 Ti doesn't seem to run the game. Maybe you need maybe it's like Death Stranding, that on certain GPUs without the DX12 underscore 0 feature level. So rest in peace on Dirt 5. It's not running the game at all. So legendary card, not running the new game. So sorry to the 750 Ti owners. The game doesn't launch at all. Rest in pepperonis. Yeah. If I manage to get it working, I'll make a separate video, but doesn't seem to be launching at all. So let's put the 570 right in. What else? Here we go. So 570 goes in. F in the chat for the 750 Ti. Rest in peace, rest in pepperonis. Let's see if anybody made a video. Yeah, nobody made a video on Dirt 5 on the 750 Ti, so probably not working. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing on Dirt 5 on the 750 Ti on YouTube. So apparently the game does not work on the 750 Ti. Let's see. Yeah, no videos. No videos at all. So yeah, maybe it's like that's Stranding. The 750 Ti does have DX12, but the DX12 feature level is not there. It has 11 DX11 underscore 0 feature level. That's why Death Stranding also didn't work. So yeah, there are no videos on the 750 Ti for Dirt 5. So apparently the game doesn't launch. So F for the 750 Ti. Here's the 570. So now we swap to the 570. No 1650 Super yet. I'm doing it after the 580. So first the 570, and then we do the 580. We're going to start with high settings on the 570. So 570, high settings. And let's turn that off. Thanks to me, you got a Ryzen 3 3200G. Well, I'm glad. It's a great APU, especially if you don't have a graphics card. Nice background. Well, thank you, sir. Highly appreciated. Yeah, that's something runs on Linux, but it also somebody made a mod to make Death Stranding run on the 750 Ti. I might do a video later on, but it took over a month to develop that thing. I mean the launcher for the 750 Ti on Death Stranding, but somebody modded the game, so it was not an official patch. So keep that in mind. I do not speak Portuguese, but I can understand some of it. I install drivers very fast. They are already installed, so I can do quick swapping. But yeah, please make me proud of that puppy. Gonna buy it this week or this month. Yeah, I'm going to make you proud. Don't worry. We're going to stress test it. I'm now launching the game. It takes a little bit of time the first time you launch it, so patience. The first time you launch the game, it's yeah. Can I have the wallpaper? Yeah, the wallpaper is for Hogwarts Legacy. You can find it on Google Images. Just look up Hogwarts Legacy and you'll find it. What else? ¿Cómo que corren un i3 9100F? Dicen que los quad-core que no tienen 8 hilos van a tener problemas, muchos tirones, así que no creo que ande bien. Creo que va a tener tirones muy salados, me han dicho. Guys, if you have a quad-core CPU like a 9100F, people told me, I saw on the internet at least, if you have 4 cores and 4 threads, the game is going to be a stutter fest. So make sure that you have at least 8 threads to run this game. Apparently that's necessary for the game to not stutter, 4 cores, 8 threads. And if you have 2 cores and 4 threads, the game is basically unplayable. So be aware of that if you are going to buy this game. Yeah, I already tested the 1050 Ti, just rewind the live stream. Let's launch MSI Afterburner. Going to disable the sound for a second. Alright. Please don't crash. Oh, freak. I hate when this happens. I have to launch MSI Afterburner while the game is running, but at the same time the game likes to crash when I launch the program. Oh man, so annoying. Anyways. Wish me luck that the game is going to launch well this time when I use the FPS counter. If that doesn't work, I'm going to use the AMD driver, the driver side thing. Come on, please don't crash. Please. Please do not crash, game. Please, video game. Be good with me. No, it's going to crash. No, prehistoric nerd. that won't change your performance at all. Don't worry. Yeah, with this program, it's going to crash. So we're going to use the AMD overlay because the game is crashing with MSI Afterburner. So we're going to go here into the performance part of the AMD thing. And we're going to put an overlay. So here's the overlay. We're going to put it in this corner. And let's see, what can we see on this? Every 1 second, I want it updated. Let's increase the size a bit. Excellent. And what else do we have? Name. Upgrade advisor, no thanks. I hate that I cannot use MSI Afterburner. Okay, it seems to be fine this way. Open sidebar. Alt Seat. Alt R. Gotcha. Okay. Let's use this button. No, that one doesn't work. The 7. Ctrl Shift O. Great. And we're going to use this overlay to see the AMD overlay to see the performance. Yeah, it's demanding as heck, Benchart. Yeah, that's true. Start the game first, then start MSI Afterburner. I already did that and the game crashes, even on the gameplay part. Oh my god. The overlay, okay, the overlay is there. Perfect. 1 second, guys. Alright, here's the frame rate. So if you wanted to see it, here it is. The AMD overlay doing its work. Hopefully it does it well. So let's see if the FPS can be seen properly on this. Oh, I have to agree to the agreement again because I deleted the config file. Oh, okay, I'm going to install the drivers. Do not worry. Thank you for letting me know. Let me first get into the game and see if the frame rate counter is actually working. Yeah, I accept every agreement. You have my soul, Codemasters. When can we see Assassin's Creed Valhalla benchmarks? Probably on Tuesday. We'll see. But yeah. Anyways, let's see the settings. Let me disable the music first. So no music. All right, perfect. So let's enable audio again. Okay, everything is on automatic. We're going to start with high. And the resolution will be 1080p. So 1080p. Excellent. So on 1080p high, at the moment we're at 42. Let me update the drivers and I'll be right back. So let's quit. Good thing that the AMD overlay works. That saved my ass today. So optional. Let's update the drivers. So updating drivers, so much fun. Look at this. How much fun am I getting? PC Gaming for the win. ¿Qué temperaturas consideras altas en gaming? ¿Jugar CPU entre 60 y 70 está bien? Sí, yo diría que sí. La mayoría de los casos debería estar bien. So guys, I'm updating the drivers. These are the game ready drivers for Dirt 5. So 1 second while I update the drivers. When you test Assassin's Creed Valhalla? Next week. On Tuesday, probably. Tuesday will probably be that day. So sorry guys about the delay. I wasn't expecting these issues. This is part of PC gaming, having some issues every once in a while. Are you sure the game on the... Yeah, the game doesn't work on the 700 series, apparently, because of the DX12 feature level. We'll see. But I couldn't launch the game at all. Dirt 5 on the 750 Ti didn't work. So, 1 second guys, I'm installing drivers. So much fun! RX 570, yeah! Ultra low, of course. GTX 1050 Ti 58400F runs 3550 plus FPS on 1080p. What? How? With 50% resolution, maybe. How is he getting 50 plus? Did he test a place without foliage, a place without water, a place without reflections? If that's the case, I'll be super impressed, but I only was able to get 60s at 720p. The game is on the 750 Ti. No, this is the RX 570. The 750 Ti did not run the game at all. The game absolutely crashed. It didn't launch at all. It refused to launch on the 750 Ti, so pretty unfortunate. Maybe something like on Death Stranding, that some DX12 games do not launch. So restarting the PC now. I have to pick up my lunch, but I'm going to leave your stream in the background. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you, Elite Gaming HQ. Have a good lunch. Hopefully it's a good one. Hey, is the Ryzen 3 3100 good? Yeah, at the moment it's a pretty good CPU. You can run basically anything on it. You have 4 cores, 8 threads. Pretty good stuff if you ask me. You're doing the same thing. ¿Qué dice Glitch TV? ¿Todo bien? 6800 XC, that would be a good GPU, I think. Waiting for the PC. Okay, we're back into the desktop. Excellent. Ctrl Shift O. Let's see if that brings up the overlay. Okay. Overlay. Ctrl Shift O. Okay, perfect. Let's launch Dirt 5. Good thing that AMD has the FPS counter embedded into the drivers, so I don't have to install a separate program. Can I get a reply? i5 4570 1650. I need a new CPU. Will a Ryzen 3 3100 be good? I have a £200 budget, includes RAM and motherboard. I do think it's a good upgrade. You have in the future you can put a faster CPU there. For the motherboard, I'll probably go for a B550, so you have compatibility with Ryzen 5000. So you can get a better CPU later down the line. But you can also upgrade to a 3600 later on, so I think it's a good upgrade to a 3100. Excuse me. So I'm waiting for the game to launch now. So bear with me. It takes a little bit of time to launch the first time. So finally I found a good FPS counter that it works. On Nvidia, I'm probably going to download Nvidia GeForce Experience, so it shows up. You have 8 cores, 16 threads. Okay, Forza Horizon 4 looks way better and runs better. Well, Alex, I agree. The game Forza Horizon 4 runs significantly better than this, and it's an open world game. So that's super weird. Weird decisions. Not sure why the game runs so poorly, really. Usually when you can lower settings, it can run at 60, but this is not one of them. I can lower settings and the game will be basically the same. But I'm not sure why it takes so long to launch. I mean, come on, game, launch! I have an SSD. This is on an SSD, and it's taking super long to launch. What the heck? RX 578 gigabytes or 1650 Super, which is better? The 1650 Super is faster, but the 4 gigabytes of memory in some games will make you lower the taxes, so that's pretty unfortunate. Have you installed the latest patch? Yeah, the game is updated to the latest patch. Everything is on the latest, even the drivers. So the drivers, I mean, of the GPU. The game is on the latest version because I'm on Steam. Steam updates the game right away. Whoa, what happened to the FPS counter? It broke. Okay, it went back. Awesome. Alright, so profile, settings, video options, everything is on high, no dynamic resolution. So let's start with this. So arcade, free play, we're doing Brazil, on daytime, and yeah, that should be it. Let's start the event. Yeah, 120 FPS on Series X. Yeah, I mean, it's super GPU bound so far. Not sure how they make it run so good on the next-gen consoles. Something is definitely up with the PC version. Let's see. Get ready. Oh, there's no mud on this. I'm going to have to change the car. But on the... Whoa, On high we're getting 30 frames per second, so definitely better than the 750 Ti. I'm so sorry guys, I forgot to put there's no mud in this. The mud kills the performance. So class will be infinite. Okay, that's how you do it. So you need to have mud to test the performance as much as possible. Alright. Why there's... What the heck? Where's my mud? And the... What the heck? The FPS counter disappeared. There we go. Alright. So after I change the resolution, I'm going to try something else. Okay. Yeah, we're getting 30 frames on high settings, so not that bad. On this card at least. The game looks much better than on the lowest. So, super interesting. Okay, we have mud now. Perfect. Yeah, even on mud, we're getting 30 frames per second. So, if you want 30 frames on this game, use 1080p high settings on the RX 570. Can I get Ghost Toolbox? No, you have to download the entire OS from Ghost Spectre if you want it. You cannot download it separately. So, for the performance, all I can say is 30 frames appears to be on high settings. So, pretty decent, considering what I got on the Nvidia card. So, running pretty decently at the moment on high settings. Let's see if on the lowest I can get 60s. Maybe I'm hoping too much, but let's give it a try. Ultra low, ultra low, ultra low, ultra low. So yeah, if you want 30 frames per second, high settings. So this is lowest settings. Let's see if we can get 30s, 60s, I mean. So we go back and we restart the race. How does Burnout Paradise run so better on low-end PCs and still looks great? Because it's a very old game, that's why. It's a game that was developed for the PS3. Okay, so on the lowest settings, at the moment we're getting 40 to 50 frames. So pretty decent. I was expecting 60s though. I mean, it's the lowest settings, come on. At least give me 60 frames. What the heck? This game doesn't like overlays at all. I have to enable it and disable the overlay because it disappears. But yeah, this game does not like the overlays. So on the lowest settings on 1080p, you're getting basically 40 to 60 frames. 40 in the worst case. 50 to 60 in the best case. So if you want the best performance possible on 1080p, you're not getting 60s constant, but at least is way more fluid than 30 frames per second on high settings, and the game looks worse. So, hey, Himkun Osukum, sorry if I messed that up. Thank you for joining the channel membership. Thank you so much, man. Good seeing your name in green. So if you want a smoother experience, lower it to the minimum. Despite being the minimum settings though, the game still looks decent on the lowest. Considering it's the lowest, I'm pretty surprised that this is the lowest settings. But again, the performance, not great. Not great. Yeah, I mean, considering what the game is, I was expecting a lot more from the performance, especially coming from Codemasters. Usually their games run very well when you lower a few settings. This is not one of them. Yeah, maybe they messed up the PC port. I'm not sure. I'm not a developer. So let's now do 900p. Let's see if we can get 60s on 900p. So we're going to lower the resolution now. So run the resolution 900p, history resolution 900p, final resolution 900p. So this is now 900p lowest. Let's see if we can get 60 FPS. So 900p resolution, lowest settings, as you can see. And let's restart the race. No te hagas el primer mundista, es que nunca lo fui. Alright, so on 900p lowest we're getting 50s. What the heck? Yeah, 50s. 60, 50 or 60 frames. 50 to 60. Okay, fair enough. So if you want 60, I think this will be this will be what I probably play the game at if I didn't care about graphics. 900p lowest settings for 50 FPS. Whoa. Is this 900p? Yes, it is. It is. So 900p lowest. And I'm getting 50 to 60. So if you don't want drops into the 40s, consider 900p instead of 1080p. How much HDD are you using? The hard drive I'm using is an SSD. I'm on an SSD at the moment. And yes, it only occupies like 43 gigabytes. So this game is 43 gigs. If you were wondering about the space, 43 gigs. So this was console exclusive. No, this is not a console exclusive. It's on PC as well. ¿Es que un Ryzen 7 2700 y una 1660 Ti es una buena combinación? Sí, por el momento sí. Okay, the overlay disappeared. We're back in now. So yeah, we're getting the 60s with some drops into the 50s. Ooh. So let's try now the maximum settings on 900p. So let's crank it up to the highest. Let's be super crazy, people. Let's burn this GPU to the ground. Alright. Okay, so on the highest settings, yeah, I'm getting 20 FPS. So do not use the highest settings. Do yourself a favor. So no, the highest settings is not playable. So we're going to lower the global illumination to high. So we get a performance boost. Shadows to high. So we get another performance boost. Volumetrics on high. Geometry on high. Tessellation on high. Yeah, not much changing. Tessellation, maybe I can crank it up higher. Yeah, sure, let's do that. So if you want 30 frames on 900p, use a mix of high and ultra. So this is high to ultra, basically. So what else? Let's remove my face. So these are the 30 FPS settings for 900p. High geometry, ultra high tessellation, high shadows, high volumetrics, ultra high clouds, ultra high procedural, and high global illumination, because those are super demanding on ultra high. So let's get back into the game now. Let's see if we can maintain 30 with this. Use 4K and highest settings. I want to see the GPU cry. I'm going to do that before changing to the 580, but that'll be hilarious. So with these settings, we're getting 30 frames per second now. And the game does look better. Shadows are sharper, there are more reflections on cars. The quality of the 3D models seem to have more polygons, so there's more quality on the 3D models, apparently. Yeah, I can see more rocks, more tiny rocks on the ground. See, yeah, the overall quality, I was speaking Spanish. The overall quality seems a lot better. So definitely, if you don't care about performance, just use these settings. The game lags on a hard drive? Probably not. I haven't tried it, but it should be okay. The games usually do not rely on SSDs. Is it CPU intensive? It really depends. People on the internet are saying that if you don't have 8 threads, if you only have 4 cores, 4 threads, the game is going to stutter every once in a while. And if you have 2 cores and 8 threads, 2 cores and 4 threads, sorry, you're going to get unplayable frame rates. So make sure to at least have 4 cores for the game to run. But the game also does not take advantage of all the CPU cores, so not sure what the problem is there. So yeah, anyways, 900p seems to be okay, as long as if you want 50 to 60, lowest settings. If you want more, well, good luck. And if you want 30 frames, a mix between high and ultra, and that should be it. So let's now jump into 720p, and then we do 4K. Let's have a little fun. So 720, 720, 720, and we're doing ultra settings. Let's see if we can maintain at least 30 frames. All right, so 32 FPS here. So this is 720p ultra. So ultra settings. So how much are we getting here? Let's restart the race. I have a 900p monitor. Will the 1063 gigs be good with Ryzen 3 3100? Yeah, but lower texture quality. Alright, on the highest settings, yeah, do not play on the highest. We're getting 20 FPS, even at 720p, so lower the global illumination, lower the shadows. Oh, I think it's the geometry. Let's see. Yeah, it's the geometry. Okay, do not put geometry on the highest, it kills your CPU. The global illumination as well, do not put shadows, global illumination, or geometry on the highest. It'll kill your frame rates. It'll be awful for your, let's see, for your GPU. Also, volumetrics, put volumetrics on high. So for 720p, you gotta use also a mix between high and ultra. So this is high to ultra settings, basically. So you can see this is how you get 30s at 720p. You cannot use ultra because it destroys the performance. So be aware of that. How weird. What a weird thing. Some stuff on ultra. I'm going to change GPU later, man. Be patient. Jesus Christ. Be patient. I'm trying out different resolutions. So yeah, at 720p you cannot max it out because on ultra it kills the performance, and my overlay disappeared. There we go, it's back. This game does not like overlays at all. Alright. So yeah, we're getting 30s this way at 720p. Let's try to get 60s. So we're going to the lowest now. Let's put it on low. Let's give it some chance to redeem itself. So on low settings, okay, 60. Not sure why it's locked at 60. I haven't done anything to lock it to 60. Anyways, let's see if I lower this to ultra low. Shadows on ultra low, global illumination. Okay. So this is 720p low to ultra low. So a mix between low and ultra low at 720p. No, no explotas ese cuello de botella, no te preocupes. Va a estar todo bien. So, on the lowest settings, almost the lowest settings at 720p. For some reason it's locked at 60, not sure what's up with that. But we're getting 60 FPS, with some drops into the 50s. So definitely 720p seems to be the way to go, or 900p with the lowest settings. As you can see. Also, there's motion blur. I'm noticing motion blur, but no way to disable it. But man, at 60 frames per second the game feels much better than 30. So driving games have that thing. At 60 they are great, at 30 they feel kinda bad. Yeah, every resolution. Yeah, I'm trying every resolution because I know people have different monitors. So as you can see, 720p 60, you can do it on a mix between low and very low, which is pretty bad for this card, I think. I was expecting a lot more from this game on the performance side, so super disappointed. Alright. So before jumping to the 580, let's wreak havoc. Let's put it on high settings at 4K resolution, just to have some fun. Let's see what happens. Let's see how the GPU that. Oh, okay, I don't have 4K in the list, so maybe on the 580 we're going to try that. So let's get it ready for the 580. We confirm, we apply the settings, and we exit the game. So let's turn off the PC now, and we're swapping GPUs. So swapping graphics cards. You can play at 15 FPS. You are a madman, if that's so. Or a mad woman. I don't know if you're a man or a... well, you're probably a man, and that's fine. I do not judge. So let's remove the 570 and put the 580. Whoa, it's hot. Whoa, here's the 570. Let's do the 580. ¿Cuál GPU es la mejor para un Ryzen 3 2200G? Yo diría una 1650 o 1650 Super hoy en día. Anyways, so here's the 580, 3 fans, super chunky card. Let's put it in. So it's in. I'm going to put a screw because this card is so giant. I don't want to break my PCI Express slot. Thank you very much. So reconnect that. All right. So the PC is on, loading the drivers now. 1 second, guys. It's a good game for 1070. The 1070 should be faster than the 580, so I probably expect high settings over 30 just fine on 1080p. Do not use ultra settings, do not go the extra mile. But I think on the 1070 should be, on the GTX 1070, should probably be high settings, close to 60 frames. That's what I'm expecting, maybe I'm wrong, who knows. But anyways. So let's see. Okay, I'm in the desktop, perfect. So now I swap to the 580, which has more VRAM. Hopefully that helps. If it doesn't, that's fine, whatever. And we're doing ultra settings first, and then we're dropping to high probably, because that's how it goes at times. So as you can see, there's the overlay. I'll launch MSI Afterburner to lower the clocks, so it runs the same as a dual fan 580. As you can see, by default, the 580 triple fan comes at a higher clock speed at 1411 MHz. I drop it to 1366, so it runs exactly the same as a dual fan 580. So it's a better reference. I know not everyone has a triple fan card. So yeah, let's launch Dirt 5. Let's go for it. 10.6 GPU are invisible with that background of yours. Yeah, I saw it. I can see what I'm doing. But yeah, they disappear. That's due to the AI I'm using to delete the background. That's why I show it super quickly and put it in, because they disappear. But yeah, this game is super demanding on the GPU, especially on the CPU if you have less than 8 threads, so be aware of that. And just for RTX 2060, yeah, I'm doing a separate live stream for the 2060, so it will be after this one, so you don't have to wait long, don't worry. So patience, I'm going to do it. But it takes some time, so do not worry. I'm going to do a separate live stream for the 2060. I think it will be super interesting to see how an RTX card runs it. Are you using green screen? If not, what software are you using? I'm not using a green screen. You can see the background here. I'm using NVIDIA Broadcast. It's a program that uses your RTX card with AI to remove the background. So as you can see, the wall is broken. I have some stuff in the background. But with the AI, I just press a button, and the RTX card with the tensor cores does the rest. So I can remove the background. I'm not using any green screens. That's the good thing. So yeah, sorry about the the mess behind me. I'm waiting for the game to launch now. So yeah. Uses your RTX card with AI. Oh, sorry, I'm getting double audio. Yeah, this is just. Anyways. Okay, the game launches. Excellent. I love how the game does not like FPS counters at all. As you can see, it breaks all the overlay for some reason. That's hilarious.
Okay, tell me what you think of this.
Okay.
University of Awesome. Huh? Who doesn't want
Let's
to
go
be
into the
bad?
menu now. We're doing 1080p, no dynamic resolution. So 1080p on the highest settings. Thank you. I don't know why it selects 720p by default. Give me 1080. All right. So now we're on 1080p highest settings. Let's see how it goes. So we're going to arcade, free play, Brazil. It's going to be clear. We're going to use unlimited. And what else? Yeah, this. And the same car as before. Everything is the same now. Overclocking into 1400 MHz core clock. How much do you think we could gain? Not much really, because it's only 40 MHz. But I want to show the people the same that you can get on a dual fan card. So this is the highest settings on 1080p. And as you can see, we're getting below 30 frames. So let's do some tweaks. I'm going to lower the geometry to high. Let's see if that helps. It helps a little bit. Let's keep it on ultra high still. Volumetrics. Whoa, helps at all. Global illumination. Yeah, you're going to need to lower the same as before, I think. Yeah, same as before. So guys, if you want to get the best good performance, make sure to lower, never put geometry, shadows, volumetrics or global illumination on high. Use this, a mix between high and ultra. This should be the best settings. Dang it, what changed? Let's revert it. So, oh man, I hate when the options menus do this to me. So as I was saying, put geometry on high. I put myself back into the stream. Tessellation on ultra. Shadows on high. Volumetrics on high. Clouds on ultra. Procedurals on ultra and global illumination on high. These are the settings for 30 frames on 1080p. So let's get back into the game now. Everything is right. Yeah. So Ctrl-Shift-O. Ctrl-Shift-O. So now we're getting 30 frames per second. So on the 580 you can get 30 frames on almost the highest settings. Not particularly the highest. But ultra, some things on ultra run terribly bad. But at least you can get 30 frames close to ultra. The thing is, the ultra settings seem to be broken on some stuff. Seems to be using a lot of resources when you put shadows, volumetrics and others on ultra. So try to avoid ultra settings even if you have a high-end GPU, which is annoying. I mean, if you paid a lot for a GPU, you want to crank it up to the max. Well, this is not one of those games. I was expecting a lot more after seeing the performance on the next-gen consoles. But hey, sometimes it is what it is. How unfortunate. Considering the previous Dirt Rally runs fantastic, Dirt 4 runs but Dirt Rally runs amazing and looks great. And it runs a lot better. Not sure how they messed this up on the PC. They've been doing PC games for a while. I mean, come on. What happened? What happened, Codemasters? Also, thanks Codemasters for providing a copy of the game, despite what I'm saying about their game. Can't help it, I have to be honest. So, anyways, let's try lowest settings to see if we can get at least 60 FPS. So we're going to the lowest settings. So lowest settings, 1080p. Let's see if we can maintain 60s. So lowest settings. As you can see, what gamepad are you using? I'm using the an Xbox 360 controller, as you can see there. The classic, absolute classic controller. I love it. My favorite controller of all time. So comfy, it fits perfectly in my hands. So on the lowest settings, 1080p, we're getting locked 60s. I'm not seeing any way to unlock the frame rate on the AMD cards. But we're getting basically 60s with some drops into the 50s. So if you want 60 frames on this game, you need to lower the settings to low or lowest on 1080p, and you're getting there 1080p 60, as you can see. And considering that this is the lowest settings, I'm surprised that the game still has shadows and reflections. That's kind of weird. Usually in the lowest settings you have no shadows, no reflections. I mean, if you want the smoothest FPS possible on this resolution on this card, this is the way to go. I mean, you can at least lower settings and get 60s with some drops. But again, I was expecting a lot more. Yeah, hopefully, despite me being honest, hopefully Codemasters still wants to provide copies of future games. But, I mean, if I'm not honest, what's the point of the channel? This is to provide you guys with information about a game you're going to pay money for. So I think being honest is absolutely necessary. Because you're going to spend money if you want to play this game. So you better know what you're getting into. So yeah, if you want 60s, consider these settings. Let's see if the low setting, the low preset helps in any way to get... Okay, on low settings you can also get 60s apparently. Yeah, alright. Let's play that game. Okay, we're dropping into the 50s, so make sure to consider low settings instead of the lowest. So on low settings instead of lowest, you can get 60s, apparently. Oh, Benchart, how are you doing, man? This is actually Codemaster Cheshire X Evolution Studios. Motorstorm, Drive Club, and Rush. They don't use Ego engine, they use their in-house tech. Apparently it sucks compared to Ego. Okay, that's super useful information, Benchart. I did not know that this was not Codemasters, the usual ones. So I was getting some Motorstorm vibes, especially on this part. As you can see, this feels like Motorstorm Pacific Rift. So they're using their own engine. I didn't know that. That's super interesting, man. Thank you for the insight. So they're using the engine from their own engine that is not from Codemasters. I thought it was the same engine as Third Rally, but it's not. Super interesting, man. So that's why I was getting some Motorstorm Pacific Rift vibes from it. How interesting. Not everyone is honest, but that's why I'm watching your benchmarks. Oh, thank you, man. That's super cute. I love you guys. Alright, so if you want 60s, consider low settings. Medium should already drops us into the 40s. Let's see. Oh, but medium adds grass. Yeah, medium settings adds some grass, so it drops into the 40s much more often. So 60 frames, low settings. So let's try now 900p. So on 900p, we're doing medium settings first to see if we can get 60s. So medium settings on 900p, sorry, the status 900p. Yeah, they should have used the Dirt 4 engine. Well, maybe the engine, they couldn't push the graphics that far beyond. That's why maybe they're using a new engine. But they need to work on it. The engine is not doing well with the performance. Okay, even on medium we're dropped into the 40s. So let's do a couple, let's see if we can maintain 50s on medium. Yeah, we're still dropping into the 40s at times. Maybe lowering shadows to low helps. Let's see. Shadows on low. Alright, that fixed it. So, vengo a usar mi badge. Hola Rodrigo, ¿cómo andas? Oh, gracias por ser member. Viniste a usar la badge, sabelo. So this is, guys, medium settings, low shadows. So lower shadows to low if you want the best performance. So let's restart the race. So this is how you get 60s on the 580. I mean, this was the performance I was expecting on the 1050 Ti. Not on the 580. The 580 should be able to do ultra settings 60 frames on this one. Okay, 50s now, a little more often. Let's see if we can maintain over 50. Please do not drop into the 40s, game. Okay, yeah, we drop into the 40s anyways, so let's do some tweaks. Let's lower global illumination. Let's see if we can maintain 60s that way. Okay, okay, fair enough. So, low geometry, low shadows, and low GI. Low shadows, GI, and geometry. The rest on medium. That's basically it. So now we should be getting 60s. Let's try it one more time. ¿Me rebancás, Martín? Yo también te rebanco, vos. Te rebanco. Estés donde estés. Will you test it again on the 1650 Super when the patch arrives? The patch already arrived 2 days ago. But yeah, sure, why not? Maybe. So, as you can see, this is how you get 50 to 60 on the 580. Medium settings, low shadows, low global illumination, and low geometry. So you get drops into the 50s when there's vegetation and cars and effects. And then when you are in a more street environment, to say it in some way, less vegetation on screen, you're going to get 60s all the time. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff considering all I've been seeing about this game. This is the best I can do. Variable rate shading, it improves performance on Turing and RDNA2 GPUs. Okay, that's interesting. This game has that option. If it has it, I'll enable it on the 1650 Super. On the 1650 Super and the 2060. But I didn't know that this game had that. If it has it, let me know. I want to try it. Maybe it's super interesting to see how it goes. So yeah, on 900p, this is how you get 60s. Let's crank up the settings now. Let's put it on almost the highest, because on the highest the game runs bad due to some of the ultra preset stuff runs pretty terrible. So yep. So 900p ultra settings. Let's see how it goes. Okay, 30s. Okay, not bad. Let's keep it like that for now. So this is 900p ultra settings. Let's give it a try. So ultra settings, 900p. Let's see if we can maintain over 30 frames per second. Will you benchmark Godfall? That's super demanding. Godfall, yeah, sure. I requested a review copy, hopefully they give me one, but if they don't, I'll still be testing it, Godfall, on a live stream. Okay, 30 frames per second on the highest. So, nice. At least you can get 30 frames, hopefully it doesn't drop below. But if you go to ultra settings 900p, you probably maintain 30s. Okay, drop to 29 there. Yeah, I'll probably lower shadows to high to stay over 30 all the time. But there's an improvement there, at least. A tiny improvement over 1080p. Thank you, Benchart, for responding comments. Highly appreciated, man. I cannot read the chat as often because I'm doing many things at once, so that's super appreciated. BRS patch will come later. Oh, okay. So when the next gen consoles release, there will be variable rate shading. Awesome. Once that releases, of course, I'll be testing it, sure. I'm going to be doing a side-by-side comparison in the benchmark tool. That will be interesting. Thank you, man, for the information. I didn't know that. Variable rate shading and DLSS are things that I'm super interested for next generation. Variable resolutions, because the budget GPUs are going to be able to run stuff super well with dynamic resolution, DLSS, variable rate shading, just better performance all around. I'm super excited about that. The future seems bright, even for PC gaming. ¿Alguien entiende español? Sí, yo entiendo. So yeah, guys, 900p Ultra seems to be 30 frames. If you want a boost in performance, again, shadows on high. And you'll be getting a few extra frames without those drops into the 20s. So let's do very quickly. I'll probably skip 720p, really. I'll do it super quickly on the highest settings so you can see that it's over 30, but I mean, doesn't seem necessary. Let's put here 720p Ultra. Just for the to show you how it runs super quickly, because I don't think it's super relevant on this card, 720p. Let's see. So at 720p we're getting okay, over 30 frames on the highest settings, so similar to 900p. Super ridiculous numbers, really. And then if I put medium settings, let's use a mix between medium and high. So medium shadows, medium volumetrics, high clouds, high procedural, and medium level illumination. This should be 60 frames. So this is mid to high settings. Really, 720p, I don't pay too much attention to it on the 580. But hey, let's try it super quickly. The whole DX12 Ultimate feature set is very interesting. Sample feedback, for example, could increase effective VRAM dramatically. Well, yeah. I didn't know that. But that's super interesting. The bad thing about that, I mean, while it's all nice and good about the DX12 features, older cards cannot take advantage of it. So some cards will be left cards will be left behind. Yeah, medium to high doesn't seem to be working. Let's see everything on medium. Okay. Medium settings on 720p is the way to go for 60 frames. So similar to 900p. You're gonna buy the 580 this week? Well, I'm glad. Enjoy your card, man. Great GPU. This week, well, you're welcome. Glad to do testing for you guys. 1080p Ultra, I already did it. You can find it if you really want the live stream. On the highest, it does 25 FPS. If you lower some stuff to high, you get 30 frames on 1080p, so not bad. At least you can get 30s on almost ultra settings. So 720p medium seems to be okay. Let's swap graphics cards. So we turn off the PC now, and we put the 1650 Super in. I hope the DLSS come to last gen cards. I don't think so. Nvidia doesn't want us to maintain our old graphics cards. Yeah, Dampfi, yeah, that's true. Only the new cards are supporting that stuff. So it's exciting, but at the same time, man, I wish my older cards could have that technology. The ones that actually need that extra performance. So here's the 580. I just removed, as you can see, super hot. So let's put it back to the side. Now let's use the 1650 Super, this teeny tiny card with a 6-pin connector, as you can see over there. Let's plug it in. All right. Thank you, ACHR4F360. Highly appreciated, man. Yeah, I agree with Benchart. Those features are great. The variable rate shading, all that stuff with the X12 feature set, but they need to be implemented correctly. I agree with that. Some developers are having a lot of trouble with the X12 for a while. Yeah. I'm more excited about the Vulkan than the X12 because the Vulkan works on Linux, so it's more of an open source thing. That's why I prefer Vulkan. So, how did you learn English? I started in school, then I continued on what's the name of this? Going to classes, and then I continue on my own, watching movies, putting games in English. That's usually how I learn English, by looking at movies, watching movies and games in English with English subtitles, so you get your um your vocabulary in check. So here's the 1650 Super. Let's try with MSI Afterburner. Even if that doesn't work, we're going to try something else to see the frame rate. But yeah. Anyways, let's launch Dirt 5. Hopefully this time doesn't crash with MSI Afterburner. Say your intro for us. Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Dirt 5 that runs awful right now on the 1050 Ti, 750 Ti, 570, 580, 1650 Super. You can find the other GPUs I tested by rewinding the live stream. I already did 1050 Ti, 750 Ti, 570, 580, and now I'm doing the 1650 Super. Yeah, ultra settings will kill the 1650 Super, but I want to see how it kills it. It will be fun to see a GPU struggle. So I'm waiting for the game to load. I'm so sorry, guys. It takes a while to launch the first time. I'm going to try 1080. Of course, first we try ultra, then we tweak the game properly. But yeah. What is the best low-budget GPU in your opinion? At the moment, the RX 580 8GB and the 570 are the best, in my opinion, considering the price in my country. They are, in my opinion, the best value performance. You get a lot of VRAM, you get good compatibility with DX12 and Vulkan. Although some games run a lot better on Nvidia, some Unreal Engine 4 titles, but those are not the most cases. So I think in most games, 580 and 570 are the best. And yeah. Oh, thank you, Elite Gaming HQ, for the $10 donation. Back from lunch, you're still at it. Always great work, man. I often reference your range runs in many games. Well, thank you so much, man. Super appreciating that you donated $10. Super generous donation, man. You're great. I hope you're doing well as well in your channel. I stopped watching. I should go back every once in a while. So, guys, if you don't know Elite Gaming HQ, he collaborated with me a couple years ago or 3 years ago on the Assassin's Creed Origins. Yeah, like 4 years ago, I think it was, on an Assassin's Creed Origins video. And he wanted to buy the game, so I did a shout out to his channel, but we did made a collaboration. So if you want to see some PC builds and other benchmarks, follow his channel. There he is, the guy that donated $10. But yeah, man, thank you so much for the donation. Super appreciated. And I hope you had a good lunch. Would you recommend buy RTX GPU to play only with 1080p? Yeah, I would say so. Especially if you're doing ray tracing. If you're doing ray tracing, you probably want to target 1080p nowadays. So MSI Afterburner, please game, do not crash. Please. Please. No, it crashed. No. No. Yeah, with this it crashes. Let me try one more time. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to download Fraps, or, well, Fraps doesn't work with the X12. I'm going to use something else to see the frame rate. Oh, I have the Steam overlay for the frame rate. I can use that. In your country, the 1650 Super is cheaper than the 570? What? Then go for it, man. If it's cheaper than the 570, yeah, go straight ahead for the 1650 Super. Yeah, the game doesn't run with the MSI Afterburn program in the background, at least for me. It has a lot of problems in that way. So I'm going to use the Steam overlay frame rate counter, which is very tiny, but at least I can zoom into it. 1 second, guys. So in order to, if you want to do this on your own as well, you have to go into settings and select the FPS counter. We're going to do top left, high contrast color, and what else? Yeah, this is it. So you can see the FPS, despite the game not working with MSI Afterburner. So yeah, do not use MSI Afterburner and this game at the same time. This is going to crash. So that's very unfortunate, really, because I use that program to show you all the stats, but sometimes games break with that program running. At least we get the Steam FPS counter here. It's super tiny, a super tiny counter, but at least you can read it, I think. So hopefully you can see the frame rate clearly in this spot. So let's do it. Okay. So let's select 1080p and I'm going to change the overlay position. So 1080p on the highest. Let's kill this game. All right, so 1080p on the highest settings. And we apply the settings. Yes, please. And let me adjust the frame rate counter so you can see it, guys. Right. Perfect. Perfect. Yes, it's a little bit too much, I think. You're not alone. Mine too crashed so many times. This is the first game who I can just do normal tests. Okay, Christo, I agree. So people are having issues running this game with MSI Afterburner in the background. So keep that in mind. In order to see the frame rate, consider using the Steam overlay instead. It sucks that I have to do this because it doesn't look as good as the other program, but hey, better than nothing. We're going to do infinite, so on unlimited. And there we go. Let's launch the game. At least we can see the frame rate. But let's kill the GPU on ultra settings. That FPS is all over the screen. Yeah, let me lower it a little bit. It's a little bit too much. I think I went a little bit overboard with the size of the FPS counter. That should be better. Anyways, so let's see how it goes. So on ultra settings, we're getting 20, less than 20 FPS. So let's fix this. Let's put it on high. Oh man, the game is having so many problems with the visuals at times. Something is basically wrong with the game, I think. When I change settings, it just blinks. Let me see if this is 30 frames. Nope. So let's do high settings. Hopefully this keeps us 30 frames. Okay, that worked. Let's put procedurals on ultra. Okay, still 30. Desolation, still over 30. Clouds, still over 30. All right, just like before. So let me show you the settings. To get 30 frames, put the highest settings, but put geometry, shadows, volumetrics, and global illumination on high, and that should be it. So this is high to ultra settings. Yeah, probably this is a video memory limitation, so keep that in mind. Probably due to the 4 gigs of VRAM is getting those problems on ultra, but ultra settings in this game runs bad on all GPUs. Okay, so on high set, I mix between high and ultra, you're getting over 30 frames per second. So not bad. Not bad considering what I was getting on the other cards. So this is super similar to the 580, like expected. So if you want to do best visuals possible, a mix between high and ultra on 1080p, you're getting over 30 frames. We're going to try lowest settings after this. But as you can see, yeah, those glitches seem to happen when I change options in the menu. So that's interesting. Probably something to do with how the game works. That doesn't matter, the game's still working, but it just looks odd. Pero corre muy mal, sí. Y gracias Skill por suscribirse con membresía. Se agradece mucho la donación, man. Muchas gracias, pero sí, se ve súper mal optimizado. Un FPS. It is fine considering the performance I was getting in other cards, yeah. At least we can get over 30 frames on high to ultra. Just avoid ultra settings in general in this one. It just destroys the frame rate. So anyways, let's try lowering the settings now. Let's try low. So low settings. Low. Now let's do medium. Let's be honest. Sometimes medium is a good balance. Sometimes. Let's see. All right. Over 60 frames. Let me see if I can crank up some stuff to high. Like volumetrics. No, volumetrics now. Procedurals, clouds, shadows, blah, blah, blah. Okay. That should be good enough for 60s. Let's find out. So mid, high. So everything is on high except in shadows, volumetrics, geometry, and global illumination. Let's see if we can get 60s. If we get 60s, this is faster than the 580 by a long shot. Alright. So, okay, mid 50s. So definitely a little bit faster than the 580 in general. In this game at least. It's running better on the Nvidia cards. Usually the 580 runs the same or slightly better, well, depends on the game, than the 1650 Super. In this case, the 1650 Super seems to be edging ahead. So if you have a Turing card, you're going to get better frame rates so far. I'll probably use these settings in real life to play this game. But yeah, a little bit better than the 580. Thank you, Gabriel Lukac. Sorry if I messed that up, I completely messed it up. He says, love your work and videos, keep it up. Thank you for the 140 HRK. I don't think what that is. I'm so sorry, I don't know what that currency is. I think those are Hong Kong, something from Hong Kong. I don't know. But thank you so much for your super generous donation, man. Thank you so much. Let me see. It doesn't matter how much it is, but it seems to be a lot of money. So thank you so much, man. You're super generous. He's saying that he loves the work and videos, that I need to keep it up, so I will. If you guys keep watching and supporting the channel, I'll be here for a long time, so thank you so much, guys. But yeah, thank you again for the donation, man. Super generous. So let's see, as I was saying, yeah, on medium to high settings it's doing 50 to 60 frames, so definitely not bad. Right now the game looks pretty decent with these settings. So on this card you're getting a good experience. Gabriel or Gabriel? Gabriel. If it's Gabriel, well, thank you Gabriel for that. If it's Gabriel, well, sorry if I messed that up, but Gabriel, thank you, man. So yeah, as you can see, medium to high settings seems to be okay for this one. So let's try 900p now. So 900p on high settings. Let's see if we can get, let's do ultra, and then we do high. I hate those blinks that the screen is doing. Jesus Christ. So 900p now. Let's move the frame rate counter. There you go. And we're going to restart the race. It's European currency. Oh, okay. It's can F. Oh, okay, it's can F. Can F. I don't know how to say it, but thank you so much for the 140 can F. Sorry if I messed that up. I didn't know that currency existed, so I'm so sorry. So let's lower shadows, global illumination and procedurals, because ultra settings wrecks the card. Also volumetrics. This should fix the game. Let's see. Okay, this fixed the game. So yeah, guys, these options, try not to max them out. So ultra to high settings, something like that. As you can see here. So put everything on high, but put clouds, procedural, and tessellation on ultra high. Those are the less demanding ones. And then shadows, global illumination, geometry, put those on high to avoid going over the VRAM limit. So yeah, let's see, 900p. Yeah, definitely VRAM limitation. It's using more than 4 GB on ultra. That's why we cannot max it out completely. But on 900p, on a mix between ultra and high, you're getting over 40 frames, as you can see. So super smooth, much better than the 580 at the moment. So probably on medium to high, it's going to hit 60s again on 900p, which I had to use medium to low on the 580. So the AMD cards, despite this being an AMD sponsored title, is not running that well on AMD. It's running better on Nvidia cards. You're Turkish. Okay, so you're Turkish. It's so interesting that people from Turkey also watch the channel. People from India and Turkey, I'm shocked that they are at the other corner of the world and they're watching my stuff. Super weird. Minecraft with shaders tomorrow. No, tomorrow I'm not doing a live stream. It's Sunday. I have to work on something else. But I'm going to be streaming on Monday and Tuesday. On Tuesday we have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, so that will be a great game to test. Let's see if we can get 60s on that one. So yeah, super smooth even on high to ultra settings. Let's try first high. Let's see if that changes anything at all. Okay, a few extra frames, nothing special. Let's go to medium to high. So we lower global illumination, shadows, volumetrics, and geometry. This is basically the same settings as I did on 1080p, but we are limited by video memory, so... Alright, you're from Bangladesh? Really? That's crazy, man. That's crazy that people from those places happen. And welcome Larry Gaming and Tech, one of my first member. Thank you so much, man, for being a member. So using a mix between medium and high, like you see here, you're going to get 60s. That's why I removed my face from the screen so you can see it. Let's restart the level and see the numbers. What configuration do you use on your own gaming PC? I use a Ryzen 5 3600 and an RTX 2060. That's the PC I use to make the videos, to do the live streams. But I sometimes play on the Ryzen 3 3100, it's more than enough. As you can see, this is 60 frames, medium to high settings, you're getting 60s, so either this or 1080p on medium settings should be the best way to play this game. At 60 frames, it feels amazing in comparison to 30 frames. It's such a disappointment that the older cards are struggling to maintain 60s on this one. Anyone from Japan? I want to know, is anybody from Japan? It's probably 1 AM in Japan, so yeah. India, yeah. Most people that watch my channel are from India. That's insane. I wouldn't have guessed that in a million years. That people from India were the ones that watched my channel the most. That's insane. People from India and people from Brazil. From Brazil. Yeah, Brazil. You have every country here in one live stream. Yeah, true. Even people that do not speak English are watching now. That's insane, man. Alright. Philippines. Well, Philippines is close to India, I think. If that's not close to India, I apologize. Anyway, so these settings are perfect for 60 frames, 900p medium to high. Let's do 720. 720 on high settings. That's probably going to be enough for 60s. We'll see. So 720p now. Let me change the size of this thing, so it's not covering the entire screen. All right, this is 720p. Oh, sorry, I messed up right now. In the status, I put 1080p instead of 900p. That was 900p, not 1080p. So yeah, indeed, even on my India, Brazilian, and even Israel. Whoa, real event chart, that's awesome. So it's a thing with budget channels then. People from those countries like budget GPUs. So 720p, high settings, what are we getting? Alright, mid 50s. Mid 50s, not bad. Maybe lowering some stuff to medium will help. But again, medium to high settings is what I use on 900p and 1080p to get 60 frames. So almost the same settings as on 1080p and 900p on 720p to get 60 frames. I could crank up shadows, but that's about it. So yeah, due to the video memory limitations, we are not getting ultra settings with this card because you get 10 FPS due to the video memory limitation. So yeah, Minecraft with shaders on Monday. No, I'm doing new games. There are a lot of games I have to cover. One of them will be Proteus, which is a Doom clone. Well, not a Doom clone, a game heavily inspired by Doom. I want to play that one on Monday if I don't get Assassin's Creed Valhalla. But we'll see. After this live stream, I'm doing the 2060, so stay tuned. I'm going to be doing another live stream. So yeah, guys, those are all the tests for Dirt 5 on the 1050 Ti, 750 Ti, and 570, 580, 1650 Super. I'm now going to do a live stream on the 2060, so I'm going to take like 5 minutes to go to the toilet and all that good stuff. And then I'll be coming back on a separate live stream because I have to turn off the streaming PC. Testing the 2060 on this game. That'll be interesting, I think. But I'll leave you a link so you guys can find it, that live stream. So before doing that though, let's talk about the options menu. So I'm going to move this so you can see the options menu. So I've been testing the final resolution, history resolution, and render resolution. Changing these two didn't do anything at all, even if I lowered the resolution on these two. Dynamic range is the dynamic resolution, but it's doing nothing so far, so do not enable it. Keep it like this. Then geometry, shadows, volumetric quality, and global illumination are the worst performing ones. So make sure that these are not on ultra. So global illumination, volumetrics, shadows, and geometry, these are the worst performing options, so lower these first. And then the other ones, keep them on high or very high. And that's basically the options menu. Not much more than that is necessary. So the best settings will be lowering geometry, shadows, volumetrics, and global illumination. So do that, and the game should run as good as possible. There's no better way to put it. So I'm going to now show you that I'm going to do a separate live stream with the 2060. 1 second, guys. I'm going to launch YouTube Studio. Because before ending this live stream, I gotta thank the members. So let's go to the YouTube Studio. Come on, YouTube. YouTube Studio, how do I get there? Jesus Christ. Okay, my videos. Let's go there. Let's thank our members. So memberships. So if you're a member of the level Awesome Supporter 2.0, I'll say your name at the end of the live streams. So thank you so much to Rodrigo Duarte for being an Awesome Supporter 2.0. Thank you to Cristo Gave It The Job. Sorry if I messed that up, for being another member. Thank you to Saunak Tas or Sunak Tas for being a member. And thank you, Ken, for being a member as well. These are on the tier 2. If you're tier 2, I'm going to say your name at the end of each live stream. So I'm going to get to this list and call you out. And thank you very much for supporting the channel. Also, thank you to the supporters 1.0. Those also have the icons and my thanks. So yeah, I'm going to now do the 2060. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Yeah, let's go to the streaming parts. So I can show you that I'm going to do the 2060 now. As you can see here in Manage, I'm about to do a 2060 live stream. So I'm going to show you the links for that one. So I copy this. I put this as scheduled. So yeah, we're going to do that. So I'm going to paste this in the comment section so you can find it. It's going to be private first, but then it's going to change to public. So public, excellent. So yeah, I'm going to show you now. So join my 2060 live stream if you want to. That should be the link. Let's see. Oops, something wrong. Doesn't matter. So yeah, see you in the 2060 live stream. And thank you so much for being here, guys. Let's do 2060 now. Whoa, come on, I'm back. So yeah, see you guys in a few minutes. Going to drink some water, go to the toilets, and be right back. Testing the 2060.